Thanks for reminding me. Of course, thank you guys for coming. This webinar will be recorded, and I think Thomas, our guy, will send you an email afterwards as soon as it is uploaded somewhere where you can reach it, most likely on our YouTube channel. So let's get started. As usual with these types of webinars, I've muted you guys' microphone, but if you have any questions or anything at all, just type it in the chat, and if I don't notice it right away, I'll at least try and pick up on it when we do a little Q&A session at the end. Good. So let's get started. This webinar is about what's called social commerce and how we do it inside WooCommerce. And as you probably know, WooCommerce is divided into all types of different core functionalities, as we call them, or foundations. And the one we are going to talk about today is the one we call social commerce. The agenda for today is, first of all, a little introduction and a little bit about who I am and what it is I do here at WooCommerce and why it is you need to listen to me when I say that social commerce is pretty important. I'll go through, of course, starting by explaining what social commerce actually is and what it isn't. A couple of points on why it's important, how we do it in WooCommerce, and then run through a practical example using our Avenue Clothing demo store on how to do social commerce in an automated fashion. And of course, automation is something we all like. So first of all, I'll keep it short, a short introduction of who I am. I've been working in the IT industry for, I don't know, the past 20 years or so. And since I think it was 2004, I've been working with e-commerce, all kinds of different big e-commerce websites here in Denmark. And for the past 5 years before I started here, at working here at WooCommerce as online marketing manager, I was self-employed, had my own business, giving advice to web shops on how to do online marketing and conversion optimization. So that's my background and a little bit about why it is, what it is I do here at WooCommerce, and yeah, why it is that I find this particular subject very interesting. So let's jump straight out into it. What is social commerce actually? Well, in Denmark and more and more in other parts of the world, there's, for example, a website called Trustpilot, where customers can go in and review their shopping experience at different kinds of web shops. That's what's called shop reviews. And that's not what we're talking about here. Especially in Denmark, people have a tendency to confuse the two different things. For example, what is shop reviews and what is product reviews. They just call it reviews and always think they're talking about Trustpilot. Well, social commerce, at least in this webinar, is not about Trustpilot. That's a whole other issue, how we work with rating services like that. Perhaps we'll talk about that in another webinar at another time. What we are going to talk about today is how you create shareable content and why that is important, and how you do customer reviews, why those are important, and how you do it in an automated manner. So as you can see here to your right, you most likely have seen this everywhere. For example, all the different like buttons and tweet buttons and +1 buttons. That's what's called share buttons that allows the customer or the users to easily share the content or the products of a website or a web shop. But one thing that people tend to forget is how that content is presented on the website that it is shared upon. For example, you can see a small screenshot below the share buttons, where you can see here I've shared with a fake Facebook profile of mine, I've shared the movie The Hunger Games from Amazon. But you can actually control what is shown on Facebook, what image Facebook should pick from this product, what title, what description. And as you can see here in this example, well, just typing The Hunger Games as description for this page, well, maybe they could work a little bit about that with that and actually explain what this movie is about. That would most likely increase the like rate or the click-through rate on that piece of shareable content. And then, of course, we have customer reviews or product reviews, as I like to call them, and we all know those from Amazon. And yeah, a lot of people have a tendency to stop by the product description, but almost immediately run down to the customer reviews or the product reviews and start reading those. So that's a little explanation of what social commerce is not. It's not shop reviews, at least not in this context. It's making shareable content and controlling how that content looks on the different social medias, and how to make product reviews or customer reviews. Good. So, why is social commerce important? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and I'll try to highlight 5 of those. First of all, it allows you to create one more contact point with the customer. And if you talk with anybody in marketing or sales or customer service, you'll hear that a contact point with a customer for any reason can be turned into a positive thing. So actually being able to reach out to customers and talk to them and make them share their experience with their product, and even share that experience not only with you as a web shop owner, but also their peers, their friends, their family, is simply a great thing. So it is very important to allow them to do that, for example, by implementing different kinds of share buttons, but also help them do that by controlling that at least the thumbnail for your product looks nice. Reason number 2 is what's called social proof. As I already mentioned, if you, for example, go on Amazon, a lot of users simply skip the product description itself and jumps right to the customer reviews or product reviews and starts reading those. And more people are actually starting to do that. I have a link here at the bottom of this presentation. I will post the link, of course, in the description of the YouTube video, that says that 92% of all users on e-commerce sites reads reviews, and 64% says they're affected by them. So the social proof is all about, well, okay, fine, we think our product here is the most brilliant product in the whole wide world, but don't just take our word for it. Here you can view what other people think about it. And that is extremely important to communicate and to get out there, and extremely effective in converting potential customers. So, reason number 3. Product reviews, especially if they're done in an automated manner, allows you to create a steady flow of new content on a product page. You'll simply, without you having to do anything. And new content, whenever a page is refreshed with new content and content is added to it, that's something that Google absolutely loves. Not only that, the content added to it uses the wordings, for example, misspellings or mispronunciations that regular users use. So you'll get some absolutely high quality content coming into your product pages, automated, without you having to do anything. So reason number 4, you'll get, if it's implemented correctly, you'll get star ratings on the Google search engine result page. So whenever someone searches for your product, the rating of that product would actually show up in the search result, which gives your particular result some extra attention for the user. And gaining extra attention on the search engine result page is extremely important, especially when it comes to organic search engine optimization. I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like. And number 5, as I've already mentioned a lot of times, all this can be automated. So it's simply silly not to do it. Everybody loves getting new content, getting social proof, especially if they don't have to do anything to actually get it. So of course it requires a little bit, tiny bit of programming, but it can all be automated. Good. First of all, how do you create shareable content and how do you control what it looks like? Well, it's pretty easy. The share buttons you need to go out and grab for yourself from, for example, your Facebook account or your Twitter account or your Google Plus account. Inside the settings, they'll tell you what it is you need to implement on your web page. And it's usually just a little bit of HTML and a little bit of JavaScript. And luckily, because WooCommerce goes through the template system in Umbraco, you have 100% complete control over your markup. So you can insert whatever you want, whatever kind of share buttons you want can always be inserted because you're in control of the HTML markup. And that's then, how is this displayed, for example, on Facebook? Well, that's, you simply need to add some meta information like meta description and meta keywords, but here follow a standard called Open Graph. I'll also link to that. That simply displays what the title of this website, what should you use as the primary product image, what should the description be, for example, when it's shared on Facebook. And there's a whole standard describing that, and at least Facebook abides by that standard. I think Google Plus looks at it at least, and LinkedIn uses it also. And well, again, it's meta information, product information, so it's just setting it up once and then it should work for all product pages. Right, so that's shareable content. Let's look at the more exciting part, in particularly product reviews. Good. What a lot of people are not aware of is that we have a whole product review framework built right into the Pro and Enterprise version of WooCommerce, with all the tools you need to implement this, with the tools for workflow management, if you want to approve all reviews first or you want to have them automatically go onto the website. You can delete comments from within the backend, star ratings, people can even leave comments to reviews, report abuse, vote reviews up and down, all the stuff you're used to from, for example, Amazon or similar web shops that has product reviews. Well, it's all supported by the framework. It's just up to you to do a little part of implementing it on your website. And of course, we have a simple version of this implemented already in our demo store in Avenue Clothing. And as you can see here on this slide, we have a screenshot of the backend, what it looks like there. I'll go through a practical example in a bit, and you can see what it looks like on the demo store. Of course, the output, the reviews in the demo store are all marked up in the HTML, so Google exactly can understand what this is, what the name of the reviewer is, what the description is, what rating they have given it, and this is what I mentioned before, is what they use on the result page on the search engine that you can see on the left. So that's basically social commerce, the social commerce framework or foundation in WooCommerce. But let me show you how this actually works in real life. And now I'll try and demo something. And as Mr. Spelling usually says, pray that the demo gods are with me. And please note, again, as I usually say, I am not a developer, I'm not a programmer, so most likely I won't start up Visual Studio and there won't be that much code. But still, all of this is something that is already implemented in our demo store, and if there is a tiny bit of what I'm showing you now that's not implemented in the demo store, well, then it's coding that I've done, and if I can do it, then anyone can do it. Trust me. So let's start up a browser here. Good. Let's start up a typical scenario on how to implement product reviews on a web shop. Let's me just here. Let's start by, for example, placing an order. I'll just find a product here. And this is typical. The user goes in, buys something. I already had something in my basket, I can see. Already filled out the information. Let me just quickly run through here. And we've placed an order, and you can see in the bottom right, I got an order receipt email. Now, in Denmark, customers have 14 days where they can return the goods ordered by mail order, by phone, by the internet, with no questions asked, if the goods isn't damaged. I'm not sure what the law says in your particular country, but why not use it to your advantage? For example, 10 days after a customer has placed an order, send them an additional email just informing them that we hope you're happy with the order you placed with us 10 days ago. We just want you to know that you still have 4 days to return your goods if you're not happy with them. And actually, if you're not happy with them, hurry up and contact us so we can figure out how to solve your problems. That's just good customer service, and if there's anything that really sells, it's good customer service. Just look at the typical classical story from Zappos.com that slashed their entire marketing budget and put it into customer service. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's at least how the story goes, and most people, most Western people all around the world knows about Zappos.com today, simply because they have excellent customer service. So send them an email explaining you have 4 days left to return your goods if you're not happy with them, or if there's something wrong with them. Hurry up and contact our customer service so we can get your problem solved. Then explain to them, well, now that we've got you, we got a little favor to ask you. Why not go into our website and review some of the products you ordered that you're happy with, so you can help other customers decide whether they should buy these products or not. And it's very important in this message, I'll display an example in just a minute, that you explain to the user when you leave product reviews, it's not us you're communicating with. If you got problems with with the product or with the order, get straight direct contact with us. Communicate to the user that when you leave a product review, it's other users you're communicating with. So explain to them, if it's a clothing web shop, explain what you like about the clothing, how it fits your body, and how you combine it with other items. For example, how you combine a specific pair of pants with a shirt, if you use it for evening wear or daily casual wear or anything like that. Make sure you explain that to the user, and you'll see some pretty amazing product reviews coming in. It'll also take care more or less of the problems with, well, what do we do if a customer isn't happy with the order? If there's something wrong with the product, we really don't want them to tell that on the website. Well, you already told the customer, if you have a problem, get in direct contact with us. On the website, it's customer to customer you're communicating with. So if anyone leaves a negative comment saying, this belt that I ordered was broken, and so on, so on, so on, you've got a reason to actually remove or disapprove that comment, because you're telling, if you had a problem with the order, get in contact with us. Don't leave a review on it. That was a lot of talk. Let me demonstrate it. You know, I just placed an order. Let's go in and find it in here. Now, I mentioned before that, for example, my recommendation was to wait 10 days and then send an email to the customer with this wording. I don't have the patience, and neither do you, to wait 10 days for this order to complete. So I've created a pipeline task. Whenever this order changes status, come on, wake up, from new order to completed order, then it should send out an email. Bam. And as you can see, I just received an email that says, let me download the pictures. Hope you're happy with your order. Yada, 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 yada. What I just explained. If you got problems, contact customer service. And then a section saying, help other customers. We have a favor to ask you. And so on and so on. And then, of course, list the products that they purchased, along with pictures of them. Very extremely important to have a picture in this case, so the customer can remember what is it actually that I ordered and what does it look like. And then a link straight into the review they can click on. It takes them straight into the website, and then they can give a rating, type in their name, email address, leave a review. And press save. Pretty simple. Then they can go back to the email, leave a review for the next item, and so on and so on and so on. But as you can see here, if you go into reviews again, the review is actually not on the website just yet. Now, in the demo, in the default demo Avenue Clothing demo store, all reviews goes automatically onto the website, but for the purpose of this webinar, I've disabled that, so only approved reviews goes onto the website. But let me show you how the approval process goes. Now, if we go into the backend here and go into the store, you can see Avenue Clothing, I hope. There's actually a whole section dedicated to reviews here called pending reviews. where you can see the review that I just wrote has appeared. And actually these reviews are both on the store level. They can be implemented on category level and so on, so you can see all the reviews inside a category. They are not implemented by default, but I think, if I'm not 100% sure, I think they can easily be implemented if the customer, webshop customer, wants that. But let's find those boots. Let's see, what boots was it that I ordered? Power boot. The reviews can also be found on the product itself. Right. Let's jump out to the shop level again. As you can see, there's two icons here, approve and disapprove, and none of them are colored at the moment. I can of course press disapprove, and you'll see, well, it wasn't there before, but it's still not there. Or we can go in and approve it, and then hopefully by magic it'll show up. And that's more or less the workflow part of product reviews. But as with everything e-commerce, there's a whole framework behind. So we've just implemented the most simple and most used features, but if you want to tailor any of this, if you want to tweak around with any of it, that can of course be done. You can make your own parts to it, and so on and so on. Right, so that was a short demo of a practical way of doing it in e-commerce. And let me have a look again at the agenda. Yeah, that's actually more or less it. That's social commerce in e-commerce. So, thank you for listening. If anyone has any questions, then yeah, feel free to type them in the chat. And while I wait for that, let me just tell you, of course, where you can catch both me and Søren Spelling, the founder, and all the other guys. There's our newsletter that I hope you all have subscribed to. There's of course our Twitter channel. There's our YouTube channel. We've started doing more and more on YouTube and started recording these webinars, so I can highly recommend going into YouTube and subscribe to us. There's a ton of content coming, a ton of videos coming. And then of course we're working a lot on doing more and more on Google Plus, simply because, well, you can do more on Google Plus than you can on Twitter. You can start discussions, debates, upload pictures, and so on and so on. So I highly recommend that you go, not follow, what's it called, circle us on Google Plus. Good. And then one last item, one very important item. One of the reasons we're focusing so much on, for example, social commerce today, and our last webinar was, or at least my last webinar was on our marketing foundation. These two foundations, social commerce and marketing foundation, are of course pro features. You can't do this with the free edition. And the reason we're doing these webinars right now at this moment is because we're having a summer sale where you can really save a lot on upgrading a free to a pro edition. Now, it's hard to predict, especially about the future, as they say, but I don't think we'll be running a sale anytime soon again. So if you have a client, a web shop owner that is currently running a free edition, I urge you to take contact to them and jump on this offer. They can really save a lot. I think it's over 50% you can save on the yearly fee, not only on the initial fee, but on the yearly fee also. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. And you need to tell us if you want to use this offer by Friday or by the 1st of September. So you really need to start moving on this offer if you want to take part in it. Good. I don't see any questions, so let me wrap it up. Of course, this webinar will be posted to YouTube, and I'll try and leave as many links and all the other stuff I promised in the description of the YouTube video. And Thomas will email you, or someone else here from the office will email you when the YouTube video is uploaded, so you can catch it all there. Good. Well, guys, thank you for taking part. And as always, if you got any follow-up questions, if there's something you think of at a later point in time, just hit us up either on one of the social media channels you see on the slide here, or just contact us on the website. Good. That's about it. I'll see you guys another day.